Hi, my name is Jody Hayes, and I'm an artist and a painter here in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you so much to Friends Life, who asked me to take a look at Bradley's work and say a few words about it. It is really exciting and fun and bright and wonderful. So thank you so much, Bradley, for making this work. Thank you for Friends Life for asking me. We're going to get started. The first piece we're going to talk about is this more monochromatic piece, which is a little bit different and a departure from the other works from Bradley. What I love most about his works is the use of pattern and also the way he creates depth by using a color that doesn't vary too much in value. So instead of like making a color wider or darker or lighter to create depth, he uses pattern and lines that are spaced out larger or shorter distance from each other to make this depth. It reminds me a lot, his work, a lot of Japanese woodblock prints and the use of a more flattened way to talk about perspective and depth and space. So I think that's why I think about like undersea images or landscapes when I think about his work, or spiny creatures. So the patterning in this work is really amazing, and he makes these giant shapes, or these shapes from pencil. I love the way he usually makes his work fit the whole page, which is so great. But he has these big shapes, and then he counterbalances these shapes with these with the negative space of the white that's on the other corner. So it really has a nice symmetry and balance. This next piece, I think because of the palette, just the red monochromatic palette with some of the pink, reminds me of Valentine's Day, but it's got like the two arcs of a heart. But I love all the inner workings of the lines that he's creating. It's kind of an all-over pattern, which is we see in painting a lot, especially in the mid-century. This piece is a little different because he's using more less linear work and more patches of color. So this piece is using bright colors of orange and red and yellow, but then he also brings in a little brown, and it looks like a little creature or a crab or a shell. It may be because we've just wrapped up summer, or I'm looking at my garden a lot, so I'm thinking about butterflies and patterns. This guy too is in the red and pink vein, but I love the way he's created a pattern with those hatch marks, or those X's, that he has dissected a larger shape into much smaller shapes, and then he goes into those smaller shapes and really incisors some of those patterns and repetitions. And finally, this piece has like this nautilus, more of a spiral composition, and I love the way your eyes kind of drawn to the center of this piece here with this big red splotch. Really is another great example of using composition and weighting your composition using positive and negative space. So you've got the positive space where all the shapes are happening in color, but then the negative space of this white that's around it, quote unquote, is makes it just as interesting because it gives the piece a visual weight. It's not just all right in the center. Thank you so much, Friends Life and Bradley. Good job. Keep making. It's really cool to see. Thank you.